Is it just me, or are movie taglines kind of a thing of the past? I mean, look, you still get them, they're around, you know, they're on the odd poster every so often, and all that kind of thing, but they're not really a focus anymore. They're not really the reliant selling point, like they were back in the day. Taglines were a way bigger deal. They were something that were really heavily promoted on. They were something that was memorable, and something that really gave you an idea of what the film would be. Nowadays, with the internet, you can look up the entire synopsis of something. Sometimes the entire script has been leaked. With trailers and everything as well, like obviously they had trailers back in the day, but trailers nowadays are things that we talk about, that we dissect to their core. You know, we have these reaction videos of them. We talk about them. We have so many opinions on just about every single frame of a trailer nowadays. Trailers are definitely where the selling point is, especially when it comes to like Facebook ads and all that kind of thing. I think that's what would get the most traction nowadays, because on the internet there's no schedule. We can see trailers while we're sitting on the toilet, man. Like, it is damn easy for movie studios to advertise to us. But back in the day, it was taglines that were kind of the timeless things. Apart from that, they had trailers, but they were more reserved for cinemas. Like, I know my parents have told me about the folk tales of back in the day when going to cinemas was more like an event. It was less so like, hey, this movie's on in like half an hour, do you want to go race over there and see it? It was more like a big deal, because not as many movies came out back then, and so there was way more of a build-up. So the taglines, the posters and all that stuff was so much more important, so much more effective in the build-up for a film. And so that's where you would get the iconic taglines of films back in the day, like Superman's tagline of "You'll believe a man can fly," which I can't even begin to imagine just the promise, the awe, the wonder that would have set in a child in the 70s, where you were like, I can't believe that this thing is going to come out. Like, it would have been mind-blowing. Just that one simple sentence would have been so impactful for a kid looking forward to that film when it was still coming out. But yeah, nowadays taglines are just not really a thing anybody cares about anymore. You know, they can be fun and kind of neat, but they're not really an appreciated art form. And I kind of miss them, to be honest. Like, what's the last, you know, when it comes to modern films, what's the last tagline that you truly remember? Because fuck, I'm thinking right now in my mind, and I'm like, I can't even remember what the Avengers Endgame tagline was. Was it like, finish the story, like, an end has to come or something? I bet it was something like that, but I don't remember what it was. See though, but back in the day, like 20, 30, 40 years ago or whatever, when this was more of an important factor to the promotion, they would have sold that on you hard. You would have that embedded into your brain, what the tagline was, you know, like, because there are memorable taglines that I know off the top of my head, and they're not even from films that I had been anticipating. They're from before I was born. And still, the promotion, the marketing and all that stuff was still so impactful that years later we still know what they are. It's kind of like Ghostbusters. Who are you gonna call? Like, that's just, everybody fucking knows that. Everybody knows that. And in research for this list, literally every single list had that included. It also had Be Afraid, Be Very Afraid from The Fly, which is a film I haven't seen, but I can tell you it's a damn impactful tagline. And I should watch that movie. I know. And then comes the all-time classic in both of the Jaws films. They had probably the most iconic, close. It's up there, top 5 most iconic taglines of all time, in that you'll never go back in the water again. And then for the sequel, it was just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. And that's another thing that my parents have told me tales about from back in the day, where that was an important kind of thing for them. That was like an impactful thing. They're not like movie obsessed like I am. They like movies, but they're not like fully obsessed with it. But even back when they were kids to that day, the Jaws tagline made them scared to go to the beach. My mum has told me many times about that, because it was important, it was impactful. Those taglines from Jaws haunted kids, people from 1975, you know. It was something that they probably had fucking nightmares about. Like, it was that much of an important part of the promotion for the film. But that's the thing, the examples I'm coming up with from the 70s, 80s era, those are the only taglines that people even today ever really mention or talk about or remember. For me personally though, like, I wasn't alive in the 70s. I wasn't around for the heyday of that type of promotion. I wasn't alive to see that, you know, the "You'll Believe a Man Can Fly" tagline, that wasn't really a part of my life. That I'm not nostalgic for that. I can see how powerful it must have been, but I didn't experience that for myself. And so yeah, in my research where I'm figuring out what everybody's favorites are, they're all older films, a lot of which I haven't even seen. And even then, a lot of the ones that people like and remember, they're not even that good. Like, I keep reading a bunch of taglines from like articles and stuff where they're kind of praising some of them, and I'm like, that's pretty cringy, mate. Like, the Edward Scissorhands one is, "His story will touch you, even if he can't." It's like, if that's not cringe, I don't know what is. Or even Platoon, which is a fantastic movie. The tagline is, "The first casualty of war is innocence." And that really just sounds like somebody trying to impress their English high school teacher. And then on top of that, like, those ones are memorable, even if I think they're a little bit cringy. But on top of that, it's hard to research this stuff because, like, so many of them, like a high majority of movie taglines are just things like, "He loved her, but she was dead. She was dead," or something. Or, "Yeah, you have to love each other and be brave, because love is the key to our hearts." Or like, I don't know, just some real generic shit like that. Or it'll be like, "They didn't know what was coming." It was just like stuff that like could apply to pretty much any movie. Like, really, if you think about it, like, it's like, it's very generic taglines that obviously were not very specific to the film. It'll just be like action, romance, and a little bit of mischief or something. I guess it depends on the movie. I'm just making this shit up off the top of my head, but a lot of movie taglines are just that. It's just like very generic, very not good. Anyway, in all the lead up to this and talking about taglines and stuff, I now just want to go through some ones that I found on the internet. Why do I say it like that? Like the internet is like this new thing that I don't know about. I scoured my sources in that I went on IMDb and Letterboxd and had a quick look at a few movies that I like and all this kind of stuff. And I saw some that I thought were particularly great. Even if they're not all films that I think are great, I think that these are great examples of what a tagline can be. And that maybe if they try and push them and we get a little bit more familiar with taglines, we can bring it back, man. Even among the trailers, maybe taglines will be a new thing that people will be interested in. Or not. Probably not, to be honest. There is no denying the impact behind Aliens' monster of a tagline, which reads, "In space, no one can hear you scream." It is iconic. It is probably, again, like with Jaws, I would say this is probably just above the Jaws one. I think that this is the best movie tagline, maybe, that has ever come out. "In space, no one can hear you scream" it's haunting. It tells you so much and so little about the film that is attached to it. And it tells a fucking strong message about this. Like, it introduces like this kind of dark thought into your mind about like if you were, it puts you in that situation. Like, I don't know, it's just so damn good. It's a really fucking good tagline. It sounds lonely and haunting and scary. It's terrifying, but it also, like with a movie that is titled Alien, if you've never heard of it before, with that tagline, you get it. You know exactly what this kind of thing is going to be. That the aliens are not just going to be little green men that are funny or whatever. Or it's not going to be like Star Wars with space and lasers and shit. No. This is something to be scared of and something to take seriously. In space, no one can hear you scream. Alien versus Predator. Whoever wins, we lose. This is not a good film at all. Not really at all. I don't enjoy Alien vs. Predator, but fuck me if that's not a good tagline. I guess Alien is just like the best thing for movie taglines. It sets up a fun little rivalry type film between the two characters that we know from the films prior, and it sets up this indication that doesn't fucking matter. They're both evil and scary. A Nightmare on Elm Street. If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all. Man, that is effective. Though I think Alien is probably the objective best, I think this is my subjective favorite. I think that this is so damn powerful, and if I was a kid in the 80s, I think this sentence would haunt me for life. I think it would have scarred me for life. I mean, I was scared of stuff when I was a kid to begin with. I was scared of Freddy Krueger's face when I was a kid as well. But just that tagline, I think would have frightened the hell out of me if I was born, 70s, 80s, whatever. Yeah, it gives a clear indication of what the film is about. Not a clear indication, but a intriguing indication. It kind of gives you an idea what it might be about. And it's this really haunting idea of something bad is going to happen, but you've got to go through this bad thing if you want to survive at all. Like, there's something really dark and clever about that. You know what? I'm a bit hot. I'm going to take my hoodie off. Continuity, Army of Darkness. Trapped in time, surrounded by evil, low on gas. This one's just so good because it's comedic, it shows that there is evil stuff going on and a bit of darkness in there, but it also shows that it's really not something to take too seriously. I think that this one's kind of ingenious. It shows the mundane side of Ash, like how he's just kind of a normal guy, but it's also kind of badass, he's surrounded by evil. Fargo. A lot can happen in the middle of nowhere. Now that is not descriptive at all. If anything, it kind of sounds like a horror movie tagline a little bit, which, by the way, I think horror creates the best taglines for films. It's so easy to, it's like all those kind of old Tumblr things that are like one sentence horror stories or whatever. That's kind of what the best taglines are. If Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all. It's very much like one of those. A lot can happen in the middle of nowhere, though, is just intriguing. It's not super descriptive. It doesn't really tell you what it is, but it's just really intriguing, and I think that it works because of that. I Am Legend. The last man on Earth is not alone. It's a contradiction. It doesn't make too much sense, but oh boy, it does also make a lot of sense. The last man on Earth is not alone. He's not really alone. There are monsters. There are vamps. He's not alone. It's haunting, it's powerful, it's just cool. It's just good wordplay. It's just good, man. Saw 2. Oh yes, there will be blood. This one's like not great, but it's just like very memorable to me. It's not the most poignant point that they could have made ever. It's not the most, I guess it's pretty descriptive. I was about to say it's not like the most descriptive, description of what Saw 2 is, but blood, that's kind of what Saw is, right? But just for me, as a scared kid who was scared of everything, there will be blood is just scary to me. And that's really the only reason I included that one on the list. Shaun of the Dead, a romantic comedy with zombies. It's just simple. It tells you exactly what it is. I don't think it's particularly accurate because I wouldn't really call it a romantic comedy. I would call it a comedy horror. It is the story with his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend kind of thing, but it's not really a rom-com. It's good though. It's good. It pokes a bit of fun at it. It kind of tells you a bit about what it's about, and it's cool. I like it. I don't think it's super accurate, but I do like it a lot. Chicken Run. Escape or die frying. That's a classic. Fuck you. It's so good. The Truman Show. On the air, unaware. It rhymes. It's simple. It's just true. That's exactly what it's about. He is being watched. He is on the air. He is on TV. Doesn't know about it. It's intriguing. It's simple. It's 2 words. Oh, 3 words. 4 words. I can count. It's good. Scream. To survive a horror movie, all you have to do is abide by the rules. I love this. This one's so fun because it's just like, it's about the conventions, the cliches and all that kind of stuff of horror films. Randy being a big focus on that throughout the series, really. Explaining a bunch of the different rules that horror movies do often follow. You can't have sex, you can't do this, that, there's a final girl, all those kinds of things, all the cliches that we know about horror films. That's what Scream really has fun with, and so it sells it on that point with that tagline. It's cool. The Invisible Man. What you can't see can hurt you. Man, good wordplay, like I said. It goes off the script a bit. It tells you exactly what's going on. It's taunting. It's fucking good, man. Green Room. One way in, no way out. Yeah, if you haven't seen Green Room, man, that's an intense film. And seriously, it is just about being stuck in one place in this dangerous, violent situation. I think that this tagline really sets the tone for that. Snowpiercer, fight your way to the front. Well, yep, you gotta fight your way to the front of the train, of the society, of the, the thinly veiled metaphors that are going on there for, what's it called? The thing. Capitalism. It's a metaphor for capitalism. I forgot the word capitalism. Money and stuff. Poor people, rich people. I really fucked up this take, so. Snowpiercer's great, and this is just an accurate, cool tagline that, yeah, it's kind of an action movie. It's about getting to the front of the train. Like, it's very simple in that premise, but there's so much more to it. It's so much deeper than it seems, and I just think it's kind of cool. It's just simple, punchy, and cool. The Thing. Man is the warmest place to hide. I love this one. I think this might be my second favorite one. I think it goes Alien, no, I think it goes A Nightmare on Elm Street, Alien, The Thing. Like 80s horror movies and stuff, like they make the best taglines, it turns out. Because, god damn, man is the warmest place to hide. Really just think about that. Like, it's disgusting. It really sets the tone for what you were about to watch. And it's kind of scary, man. Like, you don't want the thing. That's the thing as well. That's what adds to this tagline as well. The title of The Thing. Like, it tells you so much and so little. And man, it's awesome. Naked Gun. If you only see one movie this year, you need to get out more often. That's just fun shit. I've never seen Naked Gun, to be honest. I kind of want to watch it, but I think that it might just be a bunch of references to things that I'm not familiar with. That's kind of how old comedies seem to work sometimes. Yeah, this one's kind of funny though, because like, it's like watching movies like seems not like a thing where you're going out and you're like, going to see movies isn't like super social in my mind. Like, you need to get out more. Like, if anything, I go to the movies too much and I don't get out because all I'm doing is going to the movies. But yeah, I don't know. Monsters Inc. We scare because we care. This works because it's literally in the film. I mean, this is something that they say. It's an incorporation, and that's their slogan, man. It's so good. They scare because they care. It rhymes. It's perfect. I think this is my fourth favorite. The Social Network. You don't get to 500 million friends without making a few enemies. Oh, yeah. Is this my fifth favorite? I didn't mean to rank these. These were supposed to be in no particular order. And I don't love The Social Network as much as everyone else. It's good, but I don't like absolutely love it. But boy, do I love this tagline. It sets up exactly what is about to happen in that he is going to make enemies. That Mark Zuckerberg is somebody to, kind of not fuck around with as, what's his name? Jesse Eisenberg's menacing, sort of nerdy little face is on the front there. It's integrated into that poster really well, and it's definitely intriguing. This would have definitely made people want to go see it in 2010. Zodiac. There's more than one way to lose your life to a killer. See, that's so good because the film is about obsession and it's about pretty much losing your life, not dying, but just not living your life because you're obsessed with finding the Zodiac killer, which is so ironic because we in real life never found out who the Zodiac killer was or is or whatever. The Sixth Sense. Not every gift is a blessing. Just fun wordplay. That's all. But dark and good. It's good. Shut up. Edge of Tomorrow. Live, Die, Repeat. This one was so good that they changed the title to that. Didn't they? They did, right? Or is it the other way around? You know what? The title of this film has confused me for years. But Live, Die, Repeat. Whether it's the title or the tagline, oh man, I'm a fan of it. Nightcrawler. The city shines brightest at night. Alright, so I'm a bit biased on this one because Nightcrawler is literally my favourite film of all time. But I will say, this one sounds generic and not that great when you first read it. But once you really think about what the film is about, the city shines brightest at night. Like, that is pretty much what it's about. It's about the main character delving into the night, into the darkness. And that is where he finds his brightness, his point in life. It's also just, you can look at it as they're just talking about the city lights and not get deep into it at all. And that's why it sounds so generic, but really, it really does tell a brief little story about the protagonist of this film in Lou Bloom delving into that dark side of his life and becoming a night crawler. It's just good shit, man. La La Land. Here's to the fools who dream. I think maybe just because of the song as well, like this just like, I can hear it when I read that out. Like, here's to the fools who dream. Like, it's fantastic. It really gives you an indication of what the film is gonna be about. It's like, it's really, it resonates with me. You know, I consider myself a dreamer, and maybe that does make me a fool. Maybe that makes me an idiot. It makes the idea of LA, La La Land, success and all that stuff feel like something that is untangible, unreachable, something that you cannot really get to. And so, yeah, you are a fool if you think that you will get there. It's kind of negative, to be honest, but it's kind of positive as well, because it's kind of about being like, yeah, I am that fool. I'm the kind of person who dares to actually think that maybe this will get me somewhere one day, and that kind of thing. But I also do think that it really delves into the themes of the film in being that you can't have everything, and that there have to be compromises if you do want to gain that success. Ocean's 8. Every con has its pros. Come on, man, that's just some good fucking wordplay. This isn't a great film, but that's just some good wordplay. That's all. I don't think anybody else is really going to be talking about this one, to be honest. I did find it on a couple of the lists that I was looking at to make this video and stuff, but again, I don't think that this is something that, like, you know, if you say it to your mum or something, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, the Ocean's 8 tagline. Whereas if you say, what is it? It's not safe to go in the water. The Jaws one. I had it written over there. Anyway, the Jaws one. They will know what that is. Maybe. Probably. My mum would. Anyway. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. One man struggled to take it easy. I mean, that's exactly what it is. He works so hard to do fucking nothing, and I relate to it. I related to it, especially when I was in high school and looking at high school as being a big waste of time, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to have fun, and Ferris Bueller was maybe a bad influence, but kind of an inspiration to me. Yeah, I didn't have a super high attendance in year 12. Anyway. Us. Watch yourself. 2 words. So damn simple, but it is. It's literally you're being haunted by your cloned versions of yourself, and it's a warning because you got to watch out for literally yourself. It's good. It's clever. It says so much by saying so little. It's 2 words, but it's good, man. It's good. The Human Centipede, 100% medically accurate. I don't know if that's true. But that was definitely something that got me interested in this film, to be honest. When I did eventually watch it for the first time, I was even a little bit disappointed, because I do believe maybe this is accurate, because it's not that far-fetched. He sews some mouths to some assholes. That's all he does. Look, by the sequels, it gets more and more ridiculous, and I don't think I've seen them fully. But yeah, this one's tamer than you'd expect. And that's a good tagline. Central Intelligence. Saving the world takes a little heart and a big Johnson. That's a shit-ass movie. That is a shit movie. I hate that movie. It is so lazy. It is so easy. The jokes they make are just so one note and nothing. Most of the jokes are just, ha ha ha, The Rock is fat in this weird scene where they digitally made him fat. Look at him, be fat. Ha ha ha. Isn't that funny? Ha 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 ha. And that's the whole movie. But that is a good tagline. Swiss Army Man. We all need some body. Just some body. I'm trying to separate the some and the body there. We all need some body to lean on. Like some body. Like a body. Like just some body. Not some body, a person. Some body. Because it's a dead guy and he... The Founder. He took someone else's idea and America ate it up. Please watch The Founder. The Founder is so damn good, and this man is the villain, which is interesting. And literally that's exactly what happened. He pretty much stole somebody's idea, and which was McDonald's, if you don't know. That is the founder of McDonald's, that is the protagonist of this film. And yeah, pretty much it's just about how people can fuck you over, and to be careful with this kind of stuff. It tells the story of the founder of McDonald's, and it's very, very, very interesting. Get Out. Just because you're invited doesn't mean you're welcome. You have been formally invited by words, the words have been spoken, but there's a subtext there. There's something else going on behind the curtain. You're not really welcome. You're not really a part of this. And it's a tagline that is great for a horror film, but it gives me social anxiety because it's like, you invited me, but you don't really want me here, do you? I'm insecure. I'm not good at social situations. Anyway, Crank 2 High Voltage. He was dead, but he got better. That's good. It's just, yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't actually love these movies as much as I would expect to. I did really used to like them when I was younger because they were just dumb and whatever. I tried to rewatch them a bit later and they're just not as good as I thought they would have been, to be honest, from what I remembered. But regardless, though, this tagline is so good. Crank, if you don't know, it's not really that much of a spoiler to say because these are not films that you need to take seriously. Crank dies at the end of Crank. He's a dead guy. It ends with just him falling out of a plane or a helicopter or whatever it is. I don't know. He's up in the sky and he falls and he dies. And that's it. You're like, okay, that was a fun movie. Guess Crank's dead. Sick. And then they come out with number 2. It's like, how? He died. And they just pretty much say, doesn't matter, he got better. And that's exactly what it's about. And in that one, they revive him from having his heart be this mechanical electronic heart or whatever. And now he has to keep it like, what's the word? Like electrocuted? I'm not good with words sometimes. Predator 2. He's in town with a few days to kill. Because he's got days to kill? Like, he's got time to kill? But he's got days to kill people. He's got days. He's in town. Because he comes to Earth in this one, and he's gonna kill. Wait, the first Predator's in Earth, isn't it? Anyway, he comes to the city, is more accurate, I guess. He comes to the city and he's got a few days to kill people. Shut up, it's good. Stick it. It's not called Jim Nice Ticks. And that's exactly how you're supposed to read it, just by the way. It's not called Jim Nice Ticks. I guess opposed to Jim Nasticks? Nasticks? This is just the worst tagline I've ever read in my life, and I find it so funny. It's not called Jim Nice Ticks, it's called Jim Nasticks. Nasty? Is that what they're trying to play with there? Like Nas kind of sounds like nasty? Gymnastics? They're not nice. Fucking hell, that's such a bad tagline. And the very best tagline in existence, it is from a movie called Day of the Dolphin. And the tagline reads, unwittingly, he trained a dolphin to kill the President of the United States. Unwittingly! That's what makes this so fucking good. Unwittingly, he trained a dolphin to kill the President of the United States. How do you do, what? Was it an accident? He accidentally trained the dolphin to kill the President of the United States? I don't know what this movie's about. I don't know if this is accurate. I don't know if it's good. I doubt it's good. I've not seen the film. But that is the best tagline that has ever existed. That shoots right up past Alien and A Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff. That is number 1. Okay, so it goes, Day of the Dolphins, unwittingly he trained a dolphin to kill the President of the United States. Then it goes, A Nightmare on Elm Street, if Nancy doesn't wake up screaming, she won't wake up at all. Then it's Aliens, in space no one can hear you scream. And then it's probably both the Jaws ones. And those are my top 5 taglines. Ha ha ha! That is all, we're done. Thanks for watching. Sorry for doing that. You didn't do anything wrong. Thank you for watching. Yep, cool. See me next week when I do something else that's probably a bit dumb. I don't know. Do the things that all the YouTubers say, and get out of here. See you next time.